Welcome to the EventConnection, where we explore the stories, trends, and unforgettable moments that are shaping our industry. We'll uncover the human side of events and celebrate the power of engagement and connection, all while having a little fun. This podcast is produced by PC Nametag.
Today, we're going to talk about event registration, which, yes, I know doesn't sound like the most exciting topic ever, but you would be surprised. Yeah. At PC Nametag, we hear from so many event planners that they really want those tips and tricks and strategies of how to make their event registration process more fun, more fast, more efficient, and also just more engaging. So we thought, why not make a podcast episode about it? And who better to have on the podcast than Meaghan Herfel? She was on one of our first episodes of the podcast, and we're excited to have her back. Do you want to reintroduce yourself for our new viewers and listeners?
Thank you. Meaghan Herfel. I've been with PC Nametag for about 15 years now, which is really hard to say. It's a big number.
That's exciting.
Don't do the math. Really enjoy working with different customers, learning about their events, figuring out how we can solve for different registration problems, just different problems in general, how we make things better, how we make things easier, smoother. I love to problem solve and just kind of figure out what works, because every event is so different.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to believe, but I mean, this audience knows, but every event is just so unique and so different. Otherwise, they'd be boring. No one would go.
Right, exactly.
You've already been there.
The fun of it, but sometimes it can be, a little bit scary. So we're going to talk about some ways to make your event registration more fun, engaging, fast, efficient. And if there are some things that are kind of tripping up, we can give you some ideas of how to overcome those things. So I thought before we get into all that juicy stuff, I wanted to talk about how event registration has kind of changed over the years. And before we kind of get into some of the difficulties that some event planners are having, I wanted to talk about some things that excite us about event registration, because I think it can be a fun topic. Mm-hmm. I think for me, the thing that I love most about event registration and how it's kind of changed over the years is I feel like it's turned into more of a engaging, interactive experience, which is cool. It's not just a table with pen and paper anymore. It's really that first touch point that attendees have with your event when they come in the door. They're excited to get into your event. They're really eager to pick up their badge, pick out their lanyard, get their badge ribbons. And it's just overall an encompassing experience that event planners are getting a lot more creative with nowadays.
They really are. One of the things that's been exciting me, and it kind of aligns with that, is I had a planner tell me that they've actually gone back to doing badges, like pre-printing badges, because they lost like the conversation or the discussion with their customers or their attendees. I say customers, attendees. So it's really interesting for me to hear that. And that's really so exciting to me, to bring back the personalized experience, the connecting with someone on site. It's just so different than, picking up your badge when it's already been pre-printed and they can talk through different things. It's so different than like popping up, type in your name quick and run into, whatever you have first. So it was really exciting for me to hear that specifically, because I think it creates such a different experience and a little bit more of a personalized experience, especially when you're talking smaller events. Bigger events, obviously it's a little bit different, but when you have those smaller events, these people, they've been coming year after year. So I think it's interesting to go back to that, personal touch. And I loved hearing that.
That's another thing that I kind of like. You're talking about, it's like the friendly face when you come into the event. I love that event registration has kind of turned into your customer service center and that first, friendly welcome to the event. People get to the venue, they're excited to get in, and you really want to build on that excitement and keep that going as they enter your event. So we're going to talk about some of those things later, but I know from all the event planners that you chat with over the years, I think there's been a lot of shifts that have been happening in event registration. A lot of that has caused a lot of anxieties and stress and frustrations for event planners. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about how, attendees are starting to register a lot closer to event day now. And it's like, okay, what does that look like for me as an event planner? How do I work with that for event registration?
Yeah, it's such a challenge right now. Everyone's registering last minute, whether it's budget, whether, it's waiting till they can kind of get that approval, whatever the reason is, it's so common. And we heard it so much at IMEX, like, I'm so sorry, I got things too late. It's like, you are normal.
That's how it is.
Yeah, that's the average anymore. And while it's challenging, we figure out ways around it. It's just what this industry has seen. And I don't know if it's going to change, or what that is going to look like, but that's where we are now. So we have to just figure out how we move forward. I think the other piece too is there's just so many moving parts. The great part is typically with the moving parts, there's someone to manage it, right? Like there's so many different roles at registration, different people kind of leading the charge. So let that person who's, leading that charge handle any problem that may arise, have each person kind of ready and set and able to run with it and just keep moving. Because registration is quick. Yeah. You gotta go.
I know. And, it's with event registration, it's like you can set your event up for a really great time, or you can, start off a little bit clumsy and now your attendees are feeling a little bit out of sorts. So it really makes a difference to have that efficiency and, that team that's really ready to tackle any challenge.
Yep, absolutely. Knowing the systems, knowing, kind of the emergencies in place and just being able to run with it, I think is key.
I think that's a great segue into what we want to talk about next. So it sounds like there's, some changes happening in event registration. And I'm sure you hear from a lot of customers, how do we, handle these different frustrations and challenges that we're having? So I thought Meaghan and I could talk a little bit about some things that you can do to kind of get rid of those event registration scaries per se. So I thought maybe I could start. My first recommendation, I would say, when I chat with event planners is to always have extras of everything on site. Because, if you're needing those last minute lanyards, you're needing the badge holders, the inserts, the ribbons, figuring out how to get those overnighted is just not worth the frustrations and the panic last minute. So I would definitely recommend making sure that you have those. And even if they're just blank in stock, at least you have something that you can turn to if you need it.
Yep. An emergency fund, if you will.
Yep. And if you need anything, shameless, shout out to VC Name Tag. If you need anything, we've got lots of in-stock products that you can have on hand.
Absolutely.
Another thing that I would recommend is if you aren't familiar with what art-only badges are, Meaghan, you might tell us a little bit more about that in a second. But I tell planners, if you want to pre-print your badges, what you can do is you can work with PC Name Tag or your badge provider, and you can keep a section of the badge blank. I actually have an example here. I'm holding up a badge and it has the event badge design on it, but you can keep a little bit of the white space blank. And Meaghan can chat with us a little bit more about how you can handle this, but you can ask for blanks and then you can use a label printer to print off a last person, a walk-in or a last minute change. And you can put that onto the badge and they have a badge that looks just like everybody else's.
And we'll usually ask too, like, how many art-only badges do you want? Because it's so common. I think it's needed. Everyone knows. I always make this joke, like, it's always a Joe or a Dan that spell their name wrong. It's always like the short, easy names, but it's just so common. Like, it happens, you have a typo, so you need to reprint a badge, whether someone came last minute, like we just chatted about becoming so common. You have to have those badges. I've been suggesting somewhere between 10 to 15% extra. Kind of right after COVID, it was more of like a 20%, just so that way, things were shifting so much. Now I would say somewhere between 10 to 15, obviously depending on the event, the size. But that tends to be kind of a nice number, just so that way, again, those last minute attendees. And then as far as printing on it, it's super simple. Any really clear label will work. Go with the clear. Don't do the white labels. That's sad. That makes us sad here.
We love clear.
We love clear. Yes. It makes it prettier. It just kind of blends in a little bit more. It's super easy. There's multiple printer options. We have labels that run through desktop printer, so an inkjet or laserjet. We sell, again, the shameless plug. We sell like the clear label printers. So we have a Brother printer. We have a Dymo printer. If you already have that, fantastic. Use that. They're so easy to use. They're a plug and play, simple Word document kind of style, just to type the name in and reprint them. Anything like that is easy. I would also keep any template. So when we do that, you have the option to say, send me the template. Usually, again, we'll ask kind of when the order is placed. Or we tend to just throw it on if we see the art-only badges as well, because we know you're going to need it. So we'll send you that template all set. So you pop the names in. It's all ready to go. I would have all of your templates in one spot. So if Tina sits down and hasn't done it, she can easily pop in, see which one it is, grab templates. I love the clear labels as well, because then you can use it for other things. So like
Mhm.
if you end up need to labeling something, great.
You have it.
You're done.
Yep, that kind of ties into having
Simple.
extras. You want to make sure that you have plenty of labels. You never know what you're going to need them for.
No, you don't. You'd be surprised. So that's always a huge thing. I think it's just so key to just have that kind of plan. And it's so simple. So many people are like, well, I don't know how I'd print on site. Easy. We've got it covered. So just make sure that, you tell us how many you need, how many you're comfortable with, I think is bigger. Some people get so nervous with the 10%. So it's like, what do you feel comfortable with? What do you feel confident with? So I think that's the biggest piece.
I love that. And like, let's say that an event planner is like, I kind of want to try out direct thermal badges or, fan fold badges. How would you recommend they decide whether pre-printing or going with direct thermal on-site printing badges?
It all comes down to that artwork and the branding and the theme of the event and the vibe of the event. If your vibe is like a rainbow theme, pretty artwork, like I think about like 2-3 years ago, maybe before that, time kind of gets jumbled in my head anymore, but like where everything was that like color pop, kind of like the chalk color pop art. That is absolutely pre-print the color on the direct thermal and then print the names in the black direct thermal print on site. Add color where you can. I think anytime you go with just, especially the direct thermal, and it's just the stark white, man, there's so much room for branding, like pull through. Like,
yeah, you can have some fun with
right?
it.
These designers do such an amazing job. And we see so much cool artwork come through here. When I see a white badge, I guess it's so sad. Like, I know you can do better.
There's so much real estate that you can do fun things with.
Right. And I know there's some situations where it doesn't work. When you talk pharma, you talk some of these that just can't have it. So it's fair, but let's make it a little prettier.
Yeah. If you have,
need a little color.
If you need some inspiration, PC Name Tag has tons of inspiration. You can check out our Pinterest page.
Yes.
That's a good place to start.
Obsessed with Pinterest.
Yeah. We love posting fun inspiration on there. So definitely check it out.
Yeah.
So I feel like those are some good quick tips for overcoming some event registration scaries, as I might say. But beyond that, I think we as event planners can start to think about event registration as more of an interactive experience. I think attendees want that out of events. So I thought we could talk a little bit about how we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
I love the idea of giving people a freebie when they come to event registration. We, in a previous episode, talked about eyes light up moments. It's like, how can you surprise and delight your attendees? And I think one super easy way that you can surprise and delight at event registration is to give them a free ticket for something or free admission to something. And you can kind of cater it towards your event. But I love, being able to say, hey, we're so excited to have you here. Here's a free drink ticket for the happy hour, or here's free admission to the museum that we're going to go to after hours tonight. So I think that could be kind of fun. I also love photo booths. I think that's like a great opportunity. Like, hey, I just got my badge. I'm really excited. I want to show it off. Let's snap a quick photo that I can put on Facebook or put on LinkedIn or put on my Instagram, because then the attendee is getting the word out about your event. That's great. I love the idea of a social media challenge that kind of ties in with it. So it's like, hey, snap a picture of you with your badge or you with this, fun prop and use this hashtag on Facebook or LinkedIn. And it gets your event out and about online. And then the last thing I wanted to shout out is NACE. That's the National Association for Catering and Events. They did a fun conference earlier this year called NACE Evolve, and they did something really cool at their event registration. I think this would be easy to do on a budget if any of you want some inspiration. But what they did is the attendees signed in for the event, and then they took a kind of BuzzFeed style personality quiz.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. So you're like, answering things about yourself, like what's your dream vacation or how do you like to spend your weekends? And you're clicking your answers. And then at the end, you get a badge ribbon result that you can put on your badge. And then what they had people do is find people who got that same ribbon as you and network, ask them some questions that they had, pre-printed that you can chat with people about, connect with them on LinkedIn. And then I think they had to do a series of like fun, quick paced challenges. So that was like a nice way to kind of break the barrier and help you find people that you can identify with. We had a book lovers ribbon there. We printed the ribbons for NACE Evolve, which was cool. And the group of attendees, they actually formed a book club out of their ribbons.
What a great idea.
They came together, bonded over ribbons, did some event networking, and then they created a book club out of it.
Adorable.
So you just never know.
Nope, you don't.
So just have some fun with it. And
Absolutely.
I mean, a quiz maker is pretty cheap or free online. So
Yeah.
those are my recommendations.
Steal one out of 17 from like 20 years ago.
Right,
You're
exactly.
golden.
Just fix it up a little bit. You're good to go.
Love it.
Do you have any ideas of, event registration things that you've seen that you really love?
Yeah. So with that, like I love the idea of a ribbon wall too. You and I were kind of talking about that, but like I think back to like our IMAX booth. Like anytime we take our ribbon wall to any of our booths, people like it's a crowd. You can't get people away.
Definitely. They love it.
Obsessed. I always make the joke that planners hate ribbons. Attendees are obsessed and love ribbons because it's so true. Yeah. Attendees just love being able to personalize that badge, make it custom, allow people to see who they actually are outside of just this name. So it's just so much more personality coming through. But when you can let people like sit there and pick the wall apart together, you always get the people that say, oh, I know this person, or can I take this for so-and-so? They get so excited about these ribbons because it sparks so much imagination for them. So let them, pick their path, if you will, and have those discussions right there at the ribbon wall and kind of go from there. I think that's always fun and easy way to connect with someone too. If you grab when you're in love and grab the same ribbon
where'd you
together.
get that?
Yeah.
Or you could even, have something like an activity that people could do. And if you do that activity, you get a bonus ribbon because then it creates that
competition,
that conversation. I also like that with ribbons, you can have it be industry specific or have some sort of lingo from your industry that people find funny. So you can kind of cater it to your attendees and what they like. Or if you don't want to do that, you can always get a fun pack.
Yep.
Lots of
simple. Yeah.
Lots of different ribbons that you can put out for your attendees. Keep it super simple.
Yep. Agreed.
We have covered so many awesome things today, but I wanted to leave off on your biggest piece of advice that you would give event planners to really ace event registration this year. And I guess I can go first. I would say I really like as an attendee if event registration is open the day before the event, because I'm kind of a little bit of an anxious girl.
Same.
I want to make sure that I can go pick up my badge. I have it ready to go. I can kind of look around the venue and see where things are if it's open. And that helps me feel prepared and ready to take on the conference day. Plus, it does cut down on lines from a logistical standpoint. So that's what I would recommend.
I love that. I'm the same way. I like I want to know where the bathroom is. I want to know where my water refill station is, all those key pieces. I would absolutely say know your attendees. I think interaction is huge as far as how you get them engaged right away. I think of registration is when you come off that airplane and you're in it, you are excited, you're feeling it, you're ready to go. Like keep that vibe going. People are so excited to be there. This isn't, in most cases, this isn't a forced event. This is something that they want to enjoy. So make it interactive. I think straight to like IMAX, they had interactions everywhere as far as right at Reg. So there was, the Toronto globe, the big red globe that you could take a video in. There's batting cages. Keep
Fun.
that energy going, right? Like how adorable, but keep that energy going. Let them feel that you're excited that they're there. It's a vibe. Keep that vibe going. Keep the energy up. I think that's key. And just knowing your attendees and what they're expecting and delivering that, if not going above and beyond, which all planners do, let's be honest, but just keeping that feel and keeping that excitement because it's going to be an exciting week or exciting few days, whatever it may be.
Yeah, definitely. I've also seen some at some events, you can pick the color of your lanyard and you can kind of categorize the lanyard. So you can give some instruction for, which lanyard people should wear. Yep. So I think that's kind of cool. And that's like really, really easy to do. Or maybe you could have like a little coffee spot. We were just talking about coffee on one of our previous episodes. Event planners are, having a lot of fun with coffee now. You've got the almond milk and the oat milk and the syrups now. It's a whole experience. And I went to Content Marketing World last year and they actually gave little free Starbucks gift cards for first-time attendees. So it's like, hey, we're really excited to have you. Here's $5 to Starbucks and you can go start your day on a good note. So I thought that was an example of like a fun little freebie. I didn't know I was going to get that, but it helped me start my day off on a great note.
Absolutely. I love that.
Well, we talked about so many awesome things today. Thank you so much, Meaghan. And honestly, we would love to hear from you all. What are your biggest frustrations? What are your biggest challenges with event registration? And let us know. You can actually email us at EventConnection@PCNameTag.com. Send us an email or, you can always reach out to the PC Name Tag team. We're here to help you. We want to help your events be the best that they can be. And we're a resource for you. And we also have lots of educational resources. We have the Tag Talk blog, the Tag Talk newsletter. We have videos. You can follow us on social. We're always posting fun tips. So definitely recommend that you check us out. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But we love event registration here, and we'll always love event registration.
Obsessed.
So we're always going to talk about it.
We get weird about names.
We do.